A few weeks ago, I made a video featuring a clip of Christopher Hitchens addressing the claim that atheist Russian rulers were especially cruel because of their atheism.
The Russians never killed 30% of the population before the communists took over, 20 or 30%. No Tsar ever did that. No Christian Tsar ever did any killing on anyone.
Well, no, excuse me.
What he implies, of course, is that Christianity held the Tsars in check and prevented them from being as brutal as the atheist dictators of the Soviet Union. He apparently hasn't looked that closely at the very first Tsar, the man who created the title of Tsar of all the Russias. Ivan IV was called Ivan the Terrible for a reason. He was atrociously cruel, even in comparison to Stalin. Stalin deliberately created a famine to starve the population of Ukraine, which challenged his authority. When Ivan got word that the city of Novgorod planned to secede from Russia and join Lithuania, he built a barricade around it, then tortured thousands of its citizens to death. Afterward, he destroyed the surrounding cropland in order to starve them. Stalin stole a page straight out of this Christian Tsar's playbook. When you point out the existence of awful, cruel Christians to apologists, their favorite card to play is the No True Scotsman card. They will often say that anyone like this wasn't really Christian. Insofar as this implies that cruel people who call themselves Christian are not sincere believers in Christianity, I think it's hard to claim that about Ivan. He was a hardcore believer. Arguably, he was the most obsessively religious and intensely devoted Tsar in Russian history. From his very early years, he was known to pray for hours at a time and would bow his head to the ground in prostration so often that he developed calluses on his forehead. A retort an apologist may make is that even if he was a sincere believer, that doesn't mean that his cruelty was a result of his religious beliefs. Well, according to Ivan himself, they were. He read the Bible, saw that Yahweh was a frequently tyrannical mass murderer, and believed that a truly godly ruler ought to emulate this.
He pored over the Old Testament and historical chronicles, obsessed by the respect and power of past rulers.
The Old Testament texts are very bloody. There's a lot of killing and massacring and destroying and so on. And he learned a severe king or Tsar has to be strong. Like the word Grozny, the Russian word for him is calling he is strong and he is severe and he is brutal.
In Christianity, Ivan found identity and purpose.
Ivan would burn people alive, skin them alive, and boil them alive. Sure, he didn't kill as many people as Stalin, but the idea that the reason why he didn't kill as many people was because of his Christian mercy or piety seems silly to me considering the things that he did do. His cruelty was biblically inspired. He believed he was doing what God wanted him to do. After annexing a neighboring Muslim Khanate, he celebrated by building a church. I don't think anybody could credibly claim that Ivan the Terrible was not a sincere believer in Christianity. Another rebuttal an apologist might make is that he misinterpreted Christianity. Perhaps that's the case, but it's irrelevant. Apologists seem to believe that it's dangerous to have non-Christian leaders because belief in Christianity guarantees that a ruler's cruelty will be curtailed. This obviously wasn't the case with Ivan. In the description, there's a link to my Patreon for you generous and kind-hearted folk.